Hey guys, it's Adam here, and we're going to be having our first Fallout 4 discussion today. And we're going to be talking about the Season Pass. Was it really worth it? Well, to answer if it was worth it or not, we first need to look at each individual piece of DLC and what it brought to Fallout 4. But before we even look at the DLCs individually, we need to realize that Bethesda released two kinds of DLCs. One settlement, one story. Like, I'm not saying there's one of each, as we all know there's not, but you know what I mean. Those are the only kinds of DLCs. They didn't do anything else. They just either did settlements, workshop mode, creation kind of stuff, or they did a story DLC like Far Harbor or Nuka World. The first DLC, Automatron, the way I see it, it was a mixture of both the creation, settlement kind of stuff, and a story. Because it did give you a story. It gave you hour, 2 hour, probably max story with the mechanists and stuff like that. But then after that, really, it just took you to that robot workshop and you just built robots. So you can argue that it's unique where it's both. It's half story, half settlement creation kind of stuff. The second DLC released for Fallout 4 was the Wasteland Workshop DLC. And based on the title, you already know it's all based on settlement creation. So really, if you don't like settlement mode, which a lot of people don't really, no, not that they don't like it, including myself, it's not that I don't like it. It's just I rather explore other areas. I don't want to be really making, my home. I will use it occasionally though. I will use it occasionally, but I think me and a lot of other players, we rather just go out into the wasteland and explore. The third DLC, Far Harbor, the big freaking behemoth DLC of Phase 1 of Fallout 4's DLC rollout plan. The biggest landmass for us to explore in any Bethesda DLC. Well, to my knowledge. It was awesome. There's a bunch of quests, a very, very good story. We could fast travel back to Far Harbor, back to the Commonwealth at will. We could bring any companions we wanted. It was just a great time to be in that DLC. And I think that is worth $20 right there. I know I didn't say anything for the other DLCs and what they're worth in my opinion, but this is definitely worth its alone price tag in my opinion. The fourth DLC released by Bethesda, Contraptions Workshop, the beginning of Phase 2 of Bethesda's DLC rollout plan. Its highlights were its elevators, its racks, and its conveyor belts. But it wasn't, that's all it added. It didn't add anything else. There was no story to it. It just added things to do in settlement mode. The fifth DLC Bethesda released was Vault-Tec Workshop. It was kind of like actually Automatron, where at the beginning there was a story, and I actually found it interesting for what very little it was. I found it interesting. But then after that, like Automatron, it was all settlement mode, but for me, a person who doesn't really like settlement mode, I actually really, really, really enjoyed building my own vault, and I'm still building it right now. Like, I'm still building it to this day. Fallout 4's sixth and final DLC, Nuka World, was perhaps my favorite. It added story, added a new map, although it wasn't as big as Far Harbor or obviously the base map. I found it big enough. I found all the places on the map interesting. As you see on the screen, I'm in the mansion, and that it was scary. To me, it was scary. I usually I just watched a couple scary movies. Wasn't but I guess being in a video game, I guess it kind of brings out the fear because you're in it. But yeah, I really just enjoyed this DLC a ton, a ton, and this was honestly for me a solid, in my opinion, a solid way to end Fallout 4's run. All right, now after reviewing all these DLCs individually, count in your head how many of these DLCs that we've been talking about that you liked. If you've liked 3 of them, I do think you should pick up this season pass and it will definitely be worth it. If you only like 2, then I don't think it's honestly worth it. I think you should just buy those 2 on its own. If you've liked 1, then you definitely should just buy the 1. If you like 3, 4, 5, 6, if you like that many, you should definitely buy the season pass. I think if you've liked that much, it's a good investment of your money, good investment of your time. It's really fun. But in the end, it's up to you. If you think, even if you only like 2, it's worth the season pass, then go ahead. Go ahead. It's all opinionated. It's all subjective per person. These are just my opinions, and this is just the tool I use when I purchased it. Although I did purchase it when it was $30. So that's all I got for you today for the season pass discussion. And I hope you guys have a good day.